Hello and welcome back to our channel. My name is Anne and this is Postcards from Our Golden Years. Today I am going to show you how to renew your Titre de Séjour. Last year I wanted to do a video on renewing our visa to get the Titre de Séjour, and I had so many problems figuring out all the kinks and what browser to use and all of those things. And I ended up finally, when I was done pulling my hair out, just rushing through it to get the application done and totally forgot to record it. So this year I have time and I've been thinking about it, and I could be more deliberate and slower about it because I know all the kinks.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving.
So the first thing that you need to do, if you're like us, you'll get an email and a text message on your cell phone, and it will say, it's time to renew your Titre de Séjour. This was a shock to us. So we received this at the end of last week. I got 2 text messages and I got an email saying it was time. I guess once you have the little residence card, the Titre de Séjour, you get reminders. Or maybe it's something new in Nice. Maybe every prefecture is different, but here it works for us. So before you can even begin completing your application, you need to prepare yourself by getting all of the documents together that you need to do the renewal. So the first thing that I did, because we live on our U.S. Social Security, I went to the U.S. Social Security website, socialsecurity.gov, and I logged in and I downloaded an updated annual statement. And just as a reminder, your annual statement says that it has your name and your social security number, and it says that Social Security is going to be paying you X dollars per month, and then it shows what the net is going to be if you have money taken out. Some people still have their Part B coverage. For Medicare, we dumped ours back in 2024 after we moved here. We do currently still have federal income tax taken out of our monthly payments, although in doing a preliminary U.S. tax return for 2025, it appears that all of the money that we paid into Social Security is going to be refunded to us. So now we've decided, you know what? I think I'm going to tell Social Security to stop taking those deductions out, because for the most part, we really don't have any other income. This is what we're living on. So anyway, so the first step was to go to the socialsecurity.gov website, download an annual statement. Next, I went to the Amelie website and I downloaded a new attestation de droit. And again, that is your attestation that says that you have rights as a resident of France to be on France's national health care system, and it has your France Social Security number on it. Most of us got a form when we first came here and we applied for our inclusion in the national health care system. The first thing we received when we were approved was an attestation de droit. So some of you may have already used that, but you're going to need a new one for the new year. So it's very easy. You go onto the Amelie website, you log in, and if you haven't already set up an account there, you need to do that so that you can keep track of your reimbursements on that account. So anyway, you log in and there is a link and you just click on it and it will download that attestation de droit. So those are the first two documents that I needed. Next, I needed a bank statement. Now, because we have our U.S. Social Security deposited into our France bank account, and we are literally living on our U.S. Social Security, and because it's more than minimum requirement, financial requirement, to live here in Nice, to continue having a residence card, a visa, we are simply submitting a bank statement from our France bank account. Now, if you don't have a France bank account and all of your money is in the U.S., well, of course, you're going to have to provide bank statements from the U.S., and you're going to have to provide a bank statement for as many bank accounts as you need to show that you have the funds, sufficient funds to qualify for the renewal of your Titre de Sejour. And if it's a U.S. bank account, it's going to have to be translated into French, and all of the dollar figures need to be converted to euros. So you'll need to use a court-certified France translator to do the translations. And it can be costly to have them do the conversions on the dollar figures, dollars to euros, based on the date of deposit. So that was one of the advantages of us having a France bank account and having all of our Social Security payments, or both of them, go directly into our France bank account, because it shows the income that we said we were using to live on here in France. It shows it coming in at the beginning of each month. And then our France bank account shows day-to-day living here in France. It shows every expenditure, shows every purchase at the grocery store, our utilities, our rent, everything coming out of it. And it even shows that at the end of each month we have money left over. So for us, all we're going to provide is our France bank account statement. Now, if France comes back to us and they said, well, when you applied for your visa, you had all these other bank statements. Well, where's all that money? We're happy to provide all of that. Last year, when we renewed our visa to get our first Titre de Séjour, we only used our France bank account, and they did not ask where the rest of our money is. So that was fine, and hopefully we'll be that lucky this year as well. So I went to our France bank account. I downloaded the most recent bank statement. And just so you know, I'm very organized on my laptop. I have files set up, and I set up a new file that says Jeff and Ann's France visa renewal. And then within that, I have other folders. One that says Social Security, one says attestation de droit, one says bank statement. I have a file or folder for every category of documents that I'm going to need for this Titre de Séjour. So the next thing you're going to need is a copy. If you're married, you're going to need a copy of your spouse's passport. Now, if you're like me, you've got copies on your laptop, because for all of those other applications that you did over the last year or two or whenever, You've got folders set up, and you can just go into that folder and grab a copy to upload as needed. What I do is I download another copy into my current visa folder that says passports, so that I know when I'm completing my visa renewal application, the Titre de Sejour application, I can just click on the folder that has passports. And then I have them divided. In our case, one is mine, one is Jeff, and I open the folder and the document I need is right in there. Now, if you already have a Titre de Séjour from when you renewed your visa the first time, you're going to need a copy of that Titre de Séjour. So what I did is I simply went to my printer and I scanned both sides of my current Titre de Séjour. I'm going to need to upload that on my application to renew my Titre de Séjour. So you want to make sure you have that. I also needed a utility bill as proof of address. And they say, actually on the Titre de Séjour, they give you multiple options. And one was a copy of a utility bill that is newer than 6 months, so within the last 6 months. One is a copy of the receipt for our rent within the last 6 months. And one is a copy of your lease. So I had a copy of our rent receipt, and I had gone to EDF, who was our electric company here in Nice, and I went online, and because we pay monthly and it's automatically withdrawn, I wasn't able to find a month-to-month invoice. But what I did find is a link to get a document that says it's a proof of address. And so I downloaded that, and I downloaded the last facture from December, which is basically our electric bill, and it stated how much they took out of our bank account and that we were on a monthly program where we have this much automatically deducted from our bank. It doesn't really show usage. I'm hoping that that's going to fly. Last year we were on a different program, and it was actually showing usage each month, and I was able to get something different. But now I'm providing 3 different things. If one isn't good enough, hopefully they'll be fine with the others. So that's what I did for that. Okay, another thing you're going to need is you're going to need a new photograph. So you need to go to one of those photometron machines and select the right photograph to end up with one of the photos. Well, if you've renewed your visa before, you know it's a picture and it's got a little number next to it. That number is your e-photo number. So you're going to need that for your visa renewal, for your Titre de Séjour renewal. So here we are going to get our pictures taken. So you need to get that e-photo. How do you do that? Well, we happen to be at the Nice Étoile Mall on the parking lot level, where they have multiple photometron machines. And so you come up to the machine and you sit down in the machine. Now, first thing you're going to do is touch the screen. Touch the screen. Okay, now you're going to find the British flag, so you can do this in French, English. You're going to see that button there? Push that up. Pick English.
Category of your choice by pressing the corresponding. You have chosen a product designed for official documents. To ensure that your photos are correct, please follow the instructions on the screen. At the end of the procedure, this document will require your official signature. Please do so with care. Please note that we are going to automatically adjust the height of the camera. Sit up straight and look straight ahead. To adjust the camera, use the arrows on the screen. Then press the camera button to take the photo. Look straight ahead. Attention. 3, 2, 1. This is your product. Please sign with your finger in the white area of the screen. Please make your signature official, otherwise your application will be rejected by the administration. Your product has been successfully registered. Here is your shopping basket. You can modify it or continue shopping before proceeding to payment. Special offer, add a second fun product for just €2.
Pay.
Would you like a receipt? Using the on-screen keyboard, enter your email address and then confirm. Select the payment method of your choice from those available. Approach or insert your bank card into the payment terminal in the booth and follow the instructions.
I have downloaded a translation of all of the documents that are required to renew your Titre de Sejour. This is the full list that I just downloaded from the website in English so that you can go ahead and use it. One thing I need to tell you, when it's time to actually do your renewal, do not do it on a Chrome browser. Do not do the English version. When you go to look at your visa application, the renewal application, there's a little box at the top that allows you to click from French to English. Don't do it in English. I mean, you can certainly look at it in English and go through all of the questions so that you can see what you're going to have to enter. But when it comes time to actually uploading the forms, I got on an Edge browser because this is where I went wrong last year. I was trying to do it on a Chrome browser, and every time I uploaded a form, in the little box where it would normally say what I uploaded, it said none, and that was driving me crazy. This is what can go wrong if you try to do the form in English on a Chrome browser, so you don't want to do that. Now, when you first log on to your visa website page, your page, you're going to see a box. It's going to flash on the front of the screen, and it tells you that you must download this additional document. And this is whether you already have a Titre de Sejour or it's your very first time renewing your long stay visa. That box is going to appear. It's telling you that you need to download what's called a contrat d'engagement à respecter les principes de la République. It's a 2-page form, and you need to download that. And you're going to need to sign it and date it at the bottom, just like I did. And then you're going to need to scan it and save it in your folder for your visa renewal documents, so that when you get towards the end of your visa renewal, you'll see it will say additional documents. I'll note it as we go through the visa. When you get to the end there, where you upload anything additional, that's where you're going to upload your signed copy that you have scanned into your file. So don't forget that. That is very, very important. And we needed that last time when we renewed our Vls-Ts visa for the first time. And again, it's asking for it. So I'm assuming it's going to ask for it every year when we do our renewal. So look for that form. So when you have all of your documents together, go to the website, click on the website, log in. In our case, it made us update our password, even though, I don't know, I guess it just thought it was time to update the password, so we had to do a new password. So we go onto the website, and if you had already looked at the questions in English, then you're already going to know what to put in each box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the French application, and I will type in on each page, I will put what it is they're asking for in English. I'm not going to do it word for word, but you'll know what goes in each of those boxes. But I do think it's a good idea to look at the application in English, whether you use a Chrome browser or any other browser. Look at it in English, even maybe print it out if it'll let you print it out, so that you know what's going to go in each box. And then when you're ready to upload everything that you have in your file, close it all out, restart it, look at it in French, and start going through and adding in all of the documents that it wants you to add. So first you log in, you're going to click here, and then you're going to go to that next box saying, I would like to renew my Titre de Séjour. Here is that other little box I told you you'd see first on the screen. See that link? Click on that link to get that form, and then we start on the application. Okay, now where you see the red lines that say that the information is obligatory, that's where, just for our purposes here, I took away our private answers so that you see where the box is, so you would fill in your own information. So in this area here, we're talking about your familial situation, and so you're going to talk about your marriage. There's a pull down there where you select whether you're single or married, and then you put date of marriage, and then here you would list information on your partner, and this would be the partner's name, last name at birth. So primarily a woman would have a maiden name in there. Men typically have the same name. And then prénom, of course, is a first name. And if you have a two-part first name, you can add another first name where you see that little plus sign. Okay, here you're listing information on your children, and then contact information is address, and then they're going to confirm your email address and your telephone number. Okay, now here on this next page, you're attesting on your honor the following statements, and you'll see I've noted what you're promising, and then you're going to note where you have health insurance. Next, you're going to go to your resources, and as you can see, you need to have resources that are at least 1,231 euros per month. And so you're going to have enough bank accounts that will support that, bank accounts or pension, Social Security, whatever you've got. Okay, now here is where you're going to start uploading all of your documents. The first one they're asking for is a copy of your current valid Titre de Sejour. So as you can see, I've already uploaded the front and back side of my Titre de Sejour. Next, they want your passport. Then the next thing is your partner or spouse's passport. And then we're moving on to the justification of domicile, proof of residence. And there you'll see the different choices that you can make. Now, they only give you space for, I think, 3 documents to prove your address on the top, especially, if you're living on your own at your own address. So the 3 options are an electric bill for gas, electric, water, internet, or mobile phone. The second one is a copy of your bail, the location, which would be your lease. And the third is a copy of your quittance de loyer or taxe d'habitation. Now, you really only have to have one of these. And in addition, this is where you're going to upload your contrat d'engagement à respecter les principes de la République. This is that additional form. Remember that box that you saw at the very beginning? This is where you're going to upload your signed copy of that form. And you're going to have to scan the copy and turn it into one document with both pages and the signature. Then, as you can see, we have moved on. You're going to be uploading your attestation de droit, which is your proof of health insurance. That's the motif de séjour. And then resources, that's where we uploaded our France bank statement. And because all of the money that we need, we have enough to qualify in our France bank statement, there's only one bank statement listed there. Okay, the system sort of jumped ahead here. Now, when you get to this page, this is a summary page, and you will be able to go right through and check. When you click to save, it'll take you to this summary page. And then you can scroll down. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's got all of our confidential information in there. But you'll get to that summary page. And then you click again. If everything is correct, you'll click that final button on the very bottom there to submit your application. Now, I wanted to show you here, if at any point you need to stop working on this, you can just click the button that says quitter et revenir plus tard. That means quit and come back later. So it'll save everything that you've entered so far. And when you're ready to get back to it, you just log back in. Okay, now, when you've uploaded all of your documents and you get to this very last page, sort of like the summary page, and you flip through and you can see all of these things. That very last step submits your application. Do not click that until you are 100% sure you have gone through, you have made sure that you uploaded all of the current documents that the application is looking for, and you can't think of anything else you need to add. When you're ready to do that, you click the submit button, and voila, you're done with your application. And then if you've done this before, you know, it's anybody's guess how long it's going to take before they get back to you and let you know that your renewal has been approved. So last time they ended up extending our current, at that point it was what was our current Vls-Ts visa. They extended it for 2 months because here in Nice, they were so far behind. And we finally got our approval about a week before that extension ended. And then here in Nice, your card is not done automatically. They tell you that you have been approved, and they will contact you when your new Titre de Sejour is ready to be picked up at the prefecture. So in some prefectures here in France, they will send you an appointment and you have to show up during the appointment. In some, you have to go and make an appointment to go and pick it up. Here in Nice, they send you a text message telling you that your new card is ready to be picked up, and they give you the days and hours that you can go, and you can go whenever you feel like it during those days and hours. So it seemed a lot easier this year, even though for me, I had a lot of preparation because I wanted to show you these documents and what you're going to need for this application. And so I've taken some extra time to do this, so I don't have to do it again in the future, because I'm sure the renewal of the Titre de Séjour is not going to change until maybe the time, maybe when we're here 5 years and we're going to apply for a multi-year residence card. So anyway, I hope I made it easy for you. Feel free to leave comments below or ask questions.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know